Hello and welcome back or welcome to the channel. I'm Loudguns and today we've got a relatively quick video about using the advanced camera controls to set yourself up a CCTV system on your ship of choice. While I'm going to be mainly focusing on the Carrack because it's one of my most regularly used larger ships, this can really work for anything you want to do it with. So if this all sounds good to you, then grab a cup of tea while I roll the intro and then let's get into it. A big thanks to Syila over at Frontier, who was initially using saved camera profiles which we're going to look at to create herself a perfect lineup camera for when she was using her Connie. And after discussing the idea with a few more people, the idea of using it to set up a CCTV system was suggested, so I thought I'd give that a go. And one of the best things about playing with a group is that you always have people to fall back on and get ideas off. So if you ever want to find people to play with and learn from, then do feel free to swing by our Discord, the link's just down in the video description. So during this video we're going to be using advanced third-person camera controls, and these are by default accessed by holding F4 down as a modifier and then using a combination of other keys to move the position of the camera. It can take a little bit of playing around with it to get used to it, and the controls are a bit finicky, but it does work with a bit of practice. I'm going to include a link to this excellent infographic produced by Hasgaha. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering your name there, mate. But this goes through in some detail how you use the different controls and what they're going to do. If you haven't already, you should really check out his website and Instagram for some amazing screenshot material though, which is what these advanced camera controls are traditionally used for. So while holding F4, holding down your free look key, default is Z but I've moved mine to a mouse key, will let you drag your mouse around to orbit your ship. The arrow keys will move left and right and forwards and back. Page up and page down will move up and down, and home and end will increase and decrease your depth of field. These controls are primarily used, like I said, to create great screenshots or by content creators for cool video shots. But in this instance we're going to try it for a more practical function. So I'll start by looking towards the primary point of ingress, the front ramp. And once you've adjusted to an angle that you like, you can save the view to your presets. By default you have 9 preset save slots bound to 1 through 9 on your number pad. So to save the view, keep F4 held down, while you also hold down one of these number pad keys for 3 seconds. You can then carry on lining up other views. So for instance, I might also like to save a view of the EVA access doors into the upper deck as my second slot. And keep in mind that you'll need to be in the seat of a ship to utilise these views, so using this method is reliant on you having crewmates to direct. But in a multi-crew boarding situation, having one person able to call out where the enemy are attempting to gain ingress could make a huge difference. It's also possible to zoom the camera in through the body of the ship, and it can help to get aligned with where you want to hit and the direction you want the camera to face in before you zoom in and get too close into the hull. But in this way you can cover key corridors and, like I'm doing here, facilities such as the medbay that you know a boarding team would want to secure. And that would be a part of my advice on how to set these up. Try and think like the people who will be boarding your ship, and get the angles on their most likely routes and objectives. And once you're all set up, you can cycle through saved views by holding F4 and tapping the corresponding numpad key that you saved to. So for my Carrack I have a view of the front ramp, and the top EVA access doors, and a top-down view of the hangar so I can see if they go in through either door there. And that covers my primary ingress points. Then inside the garage so I can see if they pressed forward to the cargo hold or head up the maintenance ladder. The main elevator at the back of the ship, so I can just get a timing if they use that to go up to other decks. The medical bay, which I'm sure they're going to want controlled to prevent respawns. And then the lower and the upper routes to the Carrack's bridge, since that's going to be their ultimate objective, and could provide us with quite a good bottleneck if we know which way they're coming. Finally, I've also got an internal view of the upper bridge in case they take the level first, and then they're dropping down to take the lower bridge which we're clustered on. And for any given instance, these cameras may not be perfectly set up, so keep in mind that you can adjust the camera view further using the advanced controls. Then snap it back to the save view by holding F4 and pressing the corresponding numpad key again. And while anti-piracy is first and foremost in my mind when I'm looking at this, it can also be useful for more basic security. Some players take a decidedly low-tech approach to piracy and will try and sneak on your ship in an armistice zone or at an outpost. So on the ground, the ramp's the only ingress point for the Carrack, so a save view here can help make sure the coast is clear before dropping the ramp to let passengers on and off. And like I said, this isn't limited to the Carrack either, you can really use it for any ship. Just to give you an idea of this, I also set up a profile for my Hercules, with camera angles here covering front and rear entry points. Multiple views of the cargo deck so I can pin down where enemies are coming up through. And the various doors within the corridor to the bridge, hopefully giving you and your crew an upper hand in knowing when a breach is happening. The chances are that if you get attacked by a well-organised group of pirates, they're going to come at you with overwhelming force. They'll almost certainly have the advantage in terms of numbers, but you have some defenders' advantages as well. And one of the key things is that, particularly if you're playing as part of a group, your key concern shouldn't necessarily be trying to wipe the pirates in FPS during a boarding action. Your goal is just survival until the cavalry comes. So having an idea of the entry points the enemy are attempting, and the timings of them attempting to breach key areas such as the bridge, might just help you delay them that little bit longer. So I hope you found this short video useful, and it's given you something to try out, or maybe you've known this forever and I'm just late to the party. But if it was a good watch and you feel I've earned it, then consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons, it does really help me out a huge amount. And with all that said, thanks very much for watching all the way to the end, and I look forward to seeing you next time.